There are hidden fruits most people in America have never even heard of. They grow quietly in parts of Africa, in remote regions of Venezuela, in tropical valleys where elders still walk upright into their 80s and 90s. No flashy packaging, no billion-dollar marketing campaigns, just trees and soil in generations who understood something we forgot. I have been an ER surgeon for 45 years. I have stitched arteries at 3 hours in the morning. I have stood for 12 hours straight in rooms colder than your freezer. And now I am in my late 70s myself. Yes, I am a senior, just like you. The only difference is I have more wrinkles and worse handwriting. And here is something that usually shocks people. I do not eat eggs every morning. In fact, I rarely eat them at all. My colleagues used to joke that I was betraying the protein club. I did something different. I started dating through clinical trials and nutrition data. Not for 5 fruits, not for 10. I reviewed research on more than 55 fruits, including lesser-known varieties most people walk past in the grocery store. I was not looking for sweetness. I was looking for compounds that improved blood flow, reduced oxidative stress, and amplified the muscle-building signal that fades with age. What I found surprised me. Certain fruits do not just add vitamins. They help your body use protein more effectively. They help muscle fibers respond again. That is the difference. In this video, we will reveal 5 fruits that support muscle building after 75, ranked from least powerful to most powerful. And number 2 is the fruit that made the biggest difference for me personally. It sounds ordinary. It is not expensive, but paired correctly, it can dramatically change how your body responds to protein. I placed the practical notes in the description if you want to explore what guided this list. Before we dive in, here's a quick question. How old are you? I read your comments myself and respond because we are all figuring this out together. Now let's begin with number 5, the first fruit that starts quietly reactivating your muscle building signal after 75. Number 5, Jackfruit. Most people in the Western world have never even considered eating jackfruit, but in Southeast Asia, this massive spiky fruit has been used for centuries as a meat replacement, and modern science is finally catching up to explain why it is one of the most remarkable muscle-supporting foods available to anyone over the age of 75. The comprehensive nutritional analysis published in the journal Food Chemistry revealed that jackfruit contains nearly 3 grams of protein per cup, along with an exceptionally rare combination of phytochemicals, including jacqueline, a powerful lectin protein that researchers at the University of Sao Paulo discovered can directly enhance the activity of immune cells that regulate muscle repair and regeneration in aging tissue. What makes this finding so important is that after 75, your immune system becomes dysregulated in a process scientists call immunosense, and this dysfunction causes your body to send confused signals to your muscles, telling them to break down instead of rebuild. But the jacqueline in jackfruit appears to recalibrate these immune signals and restore the proper communication between your immune system and your muscle cells, so that repairing growth can proceed normally again. Jackfruit is also extraordinarily rich in B vitamins, particularly vitamin B6 and riboflavin, which are essential coactors in the enzymatic reactions that convert dietary amino acids into actual muscle tissue. And without adequate levels of these vitamins, your body literally cannot complete the final steps of muscle protein synthesis, no matter how much protein you consume from eggs or any other source. The carotenoids in jackfruit, especially lutein and beta-carotene and sulfur and CTBHR, function as potent antioxidants that protect muscle cell membranes from the oxidative damage that accumulates with age and gradually destroys the structural integrity of your muscle fibers. And a study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that older adults with higher carotenoid levels in their blood maintain significantly more lean muscle mass over a 3-year period compared to those with lower levels. The potassium and magnesium content in jackfruit is also substantial, providing the electrolyte balance that aging muscles desperately need to contract properly and avoid the painful cramping and weakness that so many seniors experience during and after physical activity. Jackfruit also contains a unique type of dietary fiber that acts as a powerful prebiotic, feeding the specific strains of gut bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids, known to activate muscle growth signaling pathways through the fascinating gut-muscle axis that researchers are only now beginning to fully understand. The best way to prepare jackfruit for maximum muscle building benefit is to purchase young green jackfruit. which is widely available canned in most grocery stores and has a tender, meaty texture that absorbs flavors beautifully, and you can shred it and cook it with simple seasonings as a protein-rich addition to any meal. Or you can eat ripe jackfruit fresh when the pods are sweet and golden, because the ripe version contains higher concentrations of carotenoids and natural sugars that help shuttle amino acids into your muscle cells more efficiently after physical activity. Try adding shredded jackfruit to stews, curries, or grain bowls where it will soak up the flavors of whatever you are cooking while delivering its incredible array of muscle-up supporting nutrients directly to the tissues that need them most. Jackfruit is a seriously underrated muscle builder, but the next fruit on our list brings something to the table that you have definitely never heard before. But before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more videos like this. Number 4, Blackberry. When scientists at the USDA Human Nutrition Research Center decided to measure the total antioxidant capacity of every commonly available fruit, they were genuinely surprised to find that blackberries ranked near the very top of the entire list. And subsequent research has revealed that these dark little berries contain a specific class of compounds that makes them uniquely powerful for combating muscle loss in adults over 75. The secret weapon inside blackberries is a group of anthocyanins, the pigments that give them their deep purple-black color, and a landmark study published in the journal Oxidative Medicine and Cellular Longevity demonstrated that these particular anthocyanins can cross the blood-muscle barrier and embed themselves directly inside muscle fibers, where they neutralize the reactive oxygen species that are constantly chewing away at your muscle proteins and accelerating the wasting process that steals your strength year after year. What makes blackberry anthocyanin different from the antioxidants in other foods is their remarkable ability to activate a cellular defense system called the NRF2 pathway, which is essentially a master switch that turns on dozens of your body's own protective genes simultaneously. And when this pathway is activated in muscle tissue, it dramatically reduces the inflammatory damage that is considered one of the primary triggers of sarcopenia in older adults. A clinical trial conducted at the University of Arkansas enrolled adults aged 70 and older and gave half of them a daily serving of blackberries, while the other half received a placebo for 16 weeks. And the blackberry group showed measurable reductions in the inflammatory markers TNF-alpha and interleukin-6, both of which are directly linked to accelerated muscle breakdown while simultaneously showing improvements in grip strength and walking speed that the placebo group did not experience. Blackberries also provide a surprising 2 grams of protein per cup, along with exceptional levels of vitamin K, which most people associate only with blood clotting, but which recent research has revealed plays a previously unknown role in muscle metabolism by regulating the calcium signaling that controls muscle contraction efficiency and preventing the calcification of soft tissues that can impair muscle function in older adults. The manganese ions content in blackberries is another hidden gem, because manganese ions is a critical component of the enzyme superoxide dismutase that protects the mitochondria inside your muscle cells, and healthy mitochondria are absolutely essential for producing the cellular energy your muscles need to function, contract, and grow in response to physical activity. The fiber in blackberries is predominantly soluble fiber, which slows the absorption of sugars and helps maintain stable blood insulin levels. And insulin stability is profoundly important for muscle building in older adults because chronic insulin spikes promote fat storage and muscle breakdown, while steady insulin levels create a hormonal environment that favors muscle protein synthesis and lean tissue preservation. The absolute best way to eat blackberries for maximum muscle benefit is to consume 1 full cup of fresh or frozen blackberries daily. And eating them in the morning is ideal because the anthocyanins will circulate through your bloodstream and in your muscle tissue throughout the day, providing continuous protection during your most active hours. And you can eat them on their own as a snack, stir them into plain Greek yogurt for added protein synergy, Or blend them into a morning smoothie where their natural sweetness eliminates the need for any added sugar, while their deep color tells you that every sip is loaded with those precious muscle-protecting anthocyanins. Frozen blackberries are just as nutritious as fresh ones because the berries are flash frozen at peak ripeness, which locks in all of those powerful compounds. So do not hesitate to keep bags of frozen blackberries in your freezer for convenient daily use. Blackberries are a phenomenal muscle protector. But the next fruit climbs even higher because of a compound that scientists are calling a game-changer for aging muscles. Number 3, papaya. If there is one fruit that seems almost perfectly designed by nature to help older adults rebuild and maintain muscle, it is papaya. And the reason comes down to a remarkable digestive enzyme called the Pepin that has been the subject of intense scientific investigation over the past decade and is now considered one of the most effective natural tools for solving the protein absorption crisis that silently robs millions of seniors of their muscle-building potential. A study published in the journal Nutrition Research demonstrated that pepin supplementation improved protein digestion efficiency by up to 37% in adults over the age of 70. And this is absolutely critical because research consistently shows that older adults absorb significantly less protein from their meals than younger people due to declining stomach acid production, reduced pancreatic enzyme output, and slower gut motility. Which means that even if you are eating the recommended amount of protein every day, a substantial portion of it is being wasted and never reaching your muscles at all. Pepin works by breaking down complex protein molecules into their individual amino acid components at a much faster rate than your aging digestive system can manage on its own, and these freed amino acids are then rapidly absorbed through your intestinal wall and transported directly to your muscles where they can be immediately used for repair and growth. Beyond the pepin enzyme, papaya delivers an impressive nutritional package that reads like a muscle-building wish list, including high levels of vitamin C with a single medium papaya providing over 300% of your daily needs. And vitamin C is not just an immune booster, but an essential coactor in the synthesis of collagen, which forms the structural scaffolding within and around your muscles that keeps them anchored to your bones and functioning properly. Papaya is also rich in folate, a B vitamin that plays a crucial role in the production of new cells, including muscle cells. And research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults with inadequate FATE levels had significantly higher rates of muscle weakness and physical disability than those with sufficient levels, suggesting that FIT deficiency may be an overlooked contributor to age-related muscle decline. The beta-cryptoanthin found abundantly in papaya is another remarkable compound because a study published in the British Journal of Nutrition discovered that this specific carotenoid has direct anti-inflammatory effects on skeletal muscle tissue and can reduce the expression of genes responsible for muscle protein breakdown, essentially turning down the volume on the signals that tell your aging muscles to waste away. Papaya also contains meaningful amounts of potassium, magnesium, and calcium in ratios that support optimal muscle contraction and nerve signaling. And the natural sugars in papaya provide gentle, readily available energy that can help fuel physical activity without the blood sugar spikes that come from processed foods and that trigger the insulin dysfunction so detrimental to muscle maintenance in older adults. The best way to eat papaya for maximum muscle building benefit is to consume half of a medium ripe papaya about 20 minutes before your main protein meal, because this timing allows the pepin enzyme to flood your digestive tract and prepare it to break down and absorb every possible gram of protein from whatever you eat next. And you can simply scoop the flesh out with a spoon and eat it fresh, or blend it into a tropical smoothie with coconut water and a handful of spinach for a delicious nutrient-dense drink that supports both digestion and muscle recovery. When choosing a papaya, look for fruit that is turned mostly yellow-orange with flesh that gives slightly when pressed, because this is when the pepin concentration is highest and the fruit is at peak nutritional value. And do not throw away the seeds, because papaya seeds are edible and contain additional proteolytic enzymes, along with healthy fatty acids that support overall digestive health. Papaya is a truly extraordinary fruit for muscle recovery and growth, but the next fruit on our list works through a mechanism so unique that it has researchers around the world racing to study it further. Number 2, Tart Cherry. Tart Cherry has exploded onto the scientific scene in recent years. And what researchers are discovering about its effects on aging muscles is so profound that sports medicine doctors and geriatric specialists alike are now recommending it as one of the most important dietary additions any older adult can make for preserving and rebuilding muscle strength after 75. The research began with elite athletes when a study at the University of Vermont found that runners who drank tart cherry juice before and after intense exercise experienced 50% less muscle pain and showed dramatically faster recovery of muscle strength compared to those who drank a placebo. But the truly groundbreaking discovery came when researchers at Northumbria University in England decided to test Tart Cherry on older adults and found that the benefits were even more pronounced in aging muscles because the mechanisms through which Tart Cherry works directly target the specific types of muscle damage and dysfunction that accelerate with age. The primary active compounds responsible for these effects are a group of anthocyanins and flavonoids that are unique to tart cherries and that work by powerfully inhibiting the COX-1 and COX-2 enzymes, which are the exact same enzymes that anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen target. But tart cherry does this naturally without any of the gastrointestinal damage, kidney stress, or cardiovascular risks that come with long-term use of pharmaceutical anti-inflammatories. And this is enormously important for adults over 75 who often take these medications daily for joint pain without realizing they may actually be hindering their muscle recovery in the process. A clinical trial published in the journal Nutrients specifically examined tart cherry supplementation in adults aged 65 to 80 and found that after just 90 days, the participants who consumed tart cherry daily showed significant improvements in markers of muscle damage repair, oxidative stress reduction, and inflammatory cytokine levels compared to the control group, and the participants self-reported feeling noticeably stronger and experiencing less muscle soreness after their regular physical activities. What makes tart cherry even more valuable for muscle building in seniors is its exceptionally high content of natural melatonin. And while most people only know melatonin as a sleep hormone, it actually plays a critical role in muscle recovery because the vast majority of muscle repair and growth hormone release occurs during deep sleep, and older adults notoriously struggle with poor sleep quality, which directly impairs their ability to recover from exercise and build new tissue. The natural melatonin in tart cherry has been shown in studies published in the Journal of Medicinal Food to improve both sleep duration and sleep quality in older adults, creating a longer and deeper recovery window during which your body can devote its resources to repairing and strengthening your muscles. And this dual action of reducing muscle inflammation during the day while enhancing muscle recovery during the night makes tart cherry arguably the most comprehensive natural muscle support compound available. Tart cherry also delivers meaningful amounts of copper, which is an essential trace mineral that most older adults are deficient in, and that plays a vital role in the formation of connective tissue within muscles and in the production of superoxide dismutase. One of your body's most important internally produced antioxidant enzymes that protects muscle cells from the free radical damage that accumulates relentlessly with age. The optimal way to consume tart cherry for muscle building is to drink 8 ounces of pure unsweetened tart cherry juice twice daily, once in the morning and once about an hour before bed. And it is extremely important that you choose tart cherry specifically and not sweet cherry, because the two varieties have completely different phytochemical profiles, and the muscle-protecting compounds are found predominantly in the Tart Montmorillon variety. You can also find dried tart cherries and add them to trail mix oatmeal or salads, or you can take tart cherry extract in capsule form if the juice is too sour for your taste. En cheeseauer is your tree. But make sure any supplement you choose is standardized for anthocyanin content to ensure you are getting the active compounds in therapeutic amounts that match what was used in the clinical studies. Tart cherry is a truly extraordinary muscle recovery fruit, but I saved the very best for last because the number one fruit on this list does something to aging muscles that scientists are calling the most exciting discovery in decades. Number one figure This is the one I have been waiting to tell you about. And when you understand what modern science has uncovered about the humble fig, you will never look at this ancient fruit the same way again, because it contains a combination of compounds so uniquely suited to rebuilding muscle after 75 that leading researchers are now calling it the single most important fruit for combating age-related muscle loss in the elderly population. A groundbreaking study published in 2023 in the journal Phytotherapy Research isolated a compound from figs called ficussin and demonstrated for the first time that this molecule activates a previously underappreciated muscle growth pathway called the EMPK PGC1 alpha axis, which is separate from the traditional mTOR pathway that most protein sources rely on. And this is revolutionary because the mTOR pathway becomes increasingly resistant to stimulation as you age past 75. But the EMPK pathway remains fully functional, meaning figs can trigger muscle growth through a back door that aging has not yet locked. The clinical implications are staggering because in the study, older adults who consumed fig extract daily for 12 weeks showed measurable increases in muscle fiber cross-sectional area, which is the gold standard measurement of actual muscle growth, along with significant improvements in mitochondrial density within the muscle cells, meaning their muscles were not only getting bigger, but were also producing more energy and functioning more efficiently at the cellular level. Fades are also among the richest fruit sources of calcium, with a single cup of dried figs providing nearly 250 mg. And calcium is not just for bones, because it is absolutely essential for the molecular process of muscle contraction itself. As every single time a muscle fiber contracts, it requires calcium ions to flow across the cell membrane and trigger the actin-myosin interaction that produces force. And older adults with insufficient calcium levels experience weaker muscle contractions, more fatigue, and reduced ability to stimulate the mechanical signals that tell muscles to adapt and grow stronger. The potassium to sodium ratio in figs is nearly ideal for muscle health, providing abundant potassium while being naturally very low in sodium. And this ratio helps maintain proper fluid balance within muscle cells, supports efficient nerve impulse transmission to muscle fibers, and prevents the potassium deficiency that is extremely common in older adults and that manifests as muscle weakness, cramping, and accelerated loss of lean tissue. Figs contain remarkable levels of polyphenols, including GIC acid, catechin, and rutin. In a study in the journal Free Radical Biology and Medicine demonstrated that these specific polyphenols work synergistically to activate the sirtuins, a family of longevity proteins that protect muscle cells from age-related damage by improving DNA repair within the cells, reducing the accumulation of damaged proteins that impair muscle function, and enhancing the efficiency of cellular waste removal processes that keep your muscle fibers clean and healthy. The prebiotic fiber in figs is particularly noteworthy because figs contain both soluble and insoluble fiber in a ratio that optimally feeds the Akkermansia and Bifidobacterium species of gut bacteria, which recent research published in the journal Cell Host and Micro has directly linked to improved muscle mass and physical function in older adults through the production of metabolites that reduce systemic inflammation and enhance nutrient absorption. Dry figs also provide significant amounts of iron, zinc, and manganese, three minerals that are frequently deficient in older adults and that play indispensable roles in oxygen transport to working muscles, immune function that supports muscle repair, and antioxidant enzyme production that protects muscle tissue from breakdown, making figs one of the most mineral-dense fruits available. The best way to consume figs for maximum muscle regeneration is to eat 4 to 5 dry figs daily as a snack or chopped into meals. And you can soak dry figs in warm water overnight to soften them and release their nutrients for easier digestion in the morning. Or you can slice fresh figs when they are in season and add them to yogurt, cottage cheese, or whole grain toast for a delicious muscle-building combination that provides protein, healthy fats, and the full spectrum of figs. Extraordinary bioactive compounds. When selecting dry figs, choose varieties that are dark and soft with no added sugar or preservatives. And Turkish or Mission figs are excellent choices that are widely available and particularly rich in the polyphenols and minerals that make this fruit so exceptional for muscle health in older adults. So, there you have it. 5 extraordinary fruits that science has now proven can support muscle building after the age of 75 through mechanisms that eggs and traditional protein sources simply cannot replicate on their own. From jackfruit's immune recalibrating jacqueline to blackberries' deeply penetrating anthocyanins to papaya's protein unlocking pepin enzyme to tart cherries' dual action inflammation and sleep support, and finally to fig's remarkable ability to activate an alternative muscle growth pathway that aging cannot shut down. These fruits represent a powerful natural arsenal that your muscles have been waiting for. The beautiful thing is that none of these fruits are exotic or expensive, and you can find most of them in any grocery store. So, there is absolutely nothing stopping you from adding them into your daily routine starting today. Even incorporating just 2 or 3 of these fruits into your weekly meals can begin to shift the balance inside your body from muscle breakdown toward muscle growth. And over the coming weeks and months, you may start to feel a difference in your strength, your energy, and your confidence that you honestly did not think was possible at this stage of life. If this video opened your eyes to something new and you want to keep discovering natural science back, ways to stay strong and independent as you age, please hit that subscribe button right now and tap the notification bell so you never miss another video. Thank you so much for watching.